the Department of Justice of the United States of America on Tuesday indicted the Southern Poverty Law Center. 11 federal counts. The Southern Poverty Law Center, the organization that for 55 years tracked and called out white supremacist groups in the United States. The organization that won a civil suit against the United Klans of America for lynching Michael Donald in 1981 and bankrupted him. The organization that watches the Klan, the Aryan nations, the National Socialist Party of America, and they publish the receipts. That organization. And because of that, they're the one under federal indictment. And Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced it with FBI Director Kash Patel, who was allegedly, likely, probably, don't sue me, hungover, standing right next to him. Announcing the 11 counts, 6 of wire fraud, 4 counts of false statements to a federally insured bank, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. And what is the theory of their case? That the Southern Poverty Law Center's program of paying confidential informants to infiltrate violent extremist groups was, in Blanche's words, manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose. On the other side, you hear Joyce Vance, the former United States attorney, writing about this on Substack. Check her out. It's called Civil Discourse. Hat tip to her. Her framing was perfect. This is investigating the good guys. When you're the Department of Justice and you have finite resources, and you choose to point your resources at an organization that fights white supremacists, instead of targeting the actual white supremacists, you've told the country what your priorities are. And the alleged facts here, the Southern Poverty Law Center, starting in 1980s, operated a program of using confidential informants. It's what they called field sources. These were people inside or at least connected to these violent extremist organizations. And they were paid. And they gathered intelligence on all of these extremist groups. And that intelligence, according to the SPLC's interim CEO, Brian Fair, was routinely shared with the FBI. And according to him, it saved lives. So the DOJ's case here is that the SPLC did not adequately disclose this program to its donors, and that they created bank accounts under fictitious names, like Fox Photography, so that they could route the payments anonymously. And if you take this indictment at face value, this is a civil rights nonprofit running a confidential informant network the way the FBI would run one and passing information along to the FBI. Which, makes sense because the FBI is apparently too busy firing agents because they kneeled at a George Floyd protest to actually do real work themselves. And Blanche said that the SPLC is manufacturing racism to justify its existence. The people fighting white supremacy. Kash Patel said that they allegedly engaged in a massive fraud operation to deceive their donors and enrich themselves and hide their deceptive operations. Well, that's kind of the whole point of undercover operations, Kash. The SPLC, they've responded by saying that they're outraged by these false allegations levied against them. And they're an organization that stood for 55 years as a beacon of hope fighting white supremacy, taking on violent hate and extremist groups, and it's among the most dangerous work there is. And they also believe it's the most important work they do. And they close out by saying, to be clear, this program saved lives. And it did. And let's look at what this administration has done in the last 4 months. They've investigated teachers for teaching about slavery. They've investigated librarians for daring to support the First Amendment. They've investigated district attorneys for prosecuting Trump. They've investigated the ACLU's tax status, major media outlets, and now they've indicted the Southern Poverty Law Center on 11 counts. One after another, civil society organizations, watchdogs, journalists, lawyers, teachers, every group whose job is to check power is getting a federal file opened on them. This is a list, and that list is very long, and they are keeping track of you. Blanche also alleged at one point that the SPLC paid a member of the leadership group that planned Unite the Right in Charlottesville. If that's true, it's not a scandal. It is a confidential informant inside the group that planned the rally where Heather Heyer was taken out. That is exactly what you want an intelligence gathering nonprofit to be doing. You want someone inside that room. That is how you know what they're going to do next. So here's the choice that the country is being asked to make. Is it more outrageous that a civil rights nonprofit paid informants to infiltrate the Klan, or is it more outrageous that the federal government in 2026 just indicted the people who were monitoring the Klan? There is a right answer to that, and it's not the one coming from Todd Blanche. Do me a favor, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the DOJ's actions against the Southern Poverty Law Center, against teachers, against journalists. Sound off. I want to hear it.